The only person on this square that gets a bigger laugh than you is me for putting up with you.
I don't have to take this from you.
No, Ian, I don't have to take this from you. There are other jobs, you know.
Oh, here we go again.
You think you own me. Well, you don't. I'll be on the phone to the agency in the morning. Take the first job they've got.
It's so frustrating when you get the answers right and then someone messes up the chain straight after you.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'll pick you up at the top of Victoria Road in 1 hour from now, yeah?
At the house. Tuesday afternoon. I went ahead and booked them.
I should have said something before, but I kept putting it off.
This is about Frank and Peggy, isn't it?
The tension's mounting.
Seriously good friends can win a seriously amazing holiday.
The pressure's building.
What's the message for the girls? Be afraid. Be very afraid.
The nerves are fraying.
It's all down to you, Rachel.
It sure is.
And Ant and Dec are trying to lighten it up a bit.
Please do not adjust your sets. It really is this tall.
Focus, concentrate, you can do it.
Friends Like These
Put your faith in a friend.
continues Saturday to 7 on BBC One.
New look on BBC One.
You have to take a leap into the dark.
Temptation at every turn in The Sins at 9:10.
First day of the rest of my life.
He's never, ever said, I love you. When did you stop being her dad?
And after The Sins, join us for the BBC 10 o'clock news.
Tonight on BBC One.
Now on BBC One for the first time, Anne Robinson's hit show, The Weakest Link.
Here are the 8 contestants preparing for tonight's show. These people have already appeared on the daily Weakest Link and walked away as winners. This evening, they've returned to play for double the money, £20,000. But 7 of them will leave with nothing as they learn what it's like to be voted the Weakest Link.
Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 8 people in the studio here tonight could win up to £20,000. They don't know each other, however. If they want the prize money, they'll have to work as a team. Last time they appeared on the show, they all left as winners. But this evening, 7 of them will leave with nothing. As round by round, we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
I'm Nigel. I'm a 37-year-old primary school teacher from Leicester.
I'm Natasha. I'm a 32-year-old business travel manager from Hampton and Middlesex.
I'm Simon. I'm a 45-year-old bar supervisor from Norwich.
I'm David, 36. I'm an inserts manager from Leicestershire.
I'm Andrew, 26, a psychiatric nurse from Beeley in Worcestershire.
I'm Penny, I'm a 36-year-old English teacher from Birmingham.
I'm Pat, I'm 54, I'm a writer from Harrogate.
I'm Donna, I'm 28 and I'm a student midwife from Milton Keynes.
Now the rules. In each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £2,500 target within the time limit. So the fastest way is to create a chain of 8 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked. The money is safe, however, you start a new chain from scratch. In round 1, there are 2.5 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Andrew. Let's play The Weakest Link. And the first question is for £50. Start the clock. Andrew, in the human body, what part of the skeleton protects the lungs?
The rib cage.
Correct. Penny, 1887 saw the Golden Jubilee of which British monarch?
Queen Victoria.
Correct. Pat, how many pockets are there on a standard pool table?
6.
Correct. Donna.
Bank.
The Channel Tunnel runs between Calais and which English town?
Dover.
Correct. Nigel, in the Christian calendar, what day comes immediately after Shrove Tuesday?
Ash Wednesday.
Correct. Natasha, how many colours of the rainbow are usually seen?
5.
7. Simon, in the US, New York City is situated at the mouth of what major river?
Hudson.
Correct. David, in the animal kingdom, how many species of elephants are there?
2.
Correct. Andrew.
Bank.
Which TV show, first seen on BBC Two, introduced Big Ted and Humpty?
Play school.
Correct. Penny, worn by Tommy Cooper, the Fez takes its name from a city in which country?
Turkey.
Morocco. Pat, in language, what is the usual 3-word response to the chant Oggy, Oggy, Oggy?
I.
No. Oi, oi, oi.
It's your pronunciation.
Donna, in clothing, name the Scottish woven cloth which uses different cross-banded patterns to identify different clans.
Kilt.
Tartan. Nigel, what was the earliest timekeeping device now used mainly as a garden ornament?
The sundial.
Correct. Natasha, who played the character John McClane, a New York policeman in the Die Hard films?
Bruce Willis.
Correct. Simon.
Bank.
In history, was a Roman legion normally composed of 600 or 6,000 soldiers?
600.
6,000. David, in which sport are there categories called lightweight double sculls and lightweight quad sculls?
Sailing.
Rowing. Andrew, in which country would you enjoy a beach holiday in the Algarve?
Portugal.
Correct. Penny, which children's comic was published first, The Dandy or The Beano?
The Beano.
The Dandy. Pat, the American colony of Virginia was named after which Virgin Queen of England?
Elizabeth I.
Correct. Donna, complete the title of the 1958 H.E. Bates novel, The Darling Buds of what?
May.
Correct. Nigel.
Bank.
On what island off the south coast of England would you find the town of Newport?
Isle of Wight.
Correct. Natasha, in science, what number on the pH scale is neutral? Time's up. The correct answer was 7. And in that round, you banked a very unimpressive £500, team. You could have won £2,500. Who's letting you down? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The first weakest link statistically is Penny, because she got the most questions wrong. Nigel is the strongest link. He answered all his questions correctly and gained the most money for the team. But how will the votes go?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Penny.
Penny.
Donna.
Natasha.
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 Simon.
David.
Right, team. When we began this evening, I explained that you were all previous winners on this show, which must be puzzling to the audience and embarrassing for you because there's absolutely no evidence of your skill during that last round. David, what did Natasha do to upset you?
Nothing to upset me, but just too many questions wrong.
Penny, you're a teacher, are you?
I am.
Right. How do you think you did in that round, Penny?
Terrible.
That's about accurate. That's one question you've answered correctly, because statistically, you were the worst player.
I probably was, yeah.
But Natasha, it's votes that count. With 3 votes, the team have decided you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
The very first walk of shame is thankfully my last walk of shame. That is the worst feeling in the world, especially when you've never had to do it before, and this is the second time I've been on the show. I'm just glad I've got it over and done with. I think Donna will go next. I can see that on the first round that she looked rather nervous, and I've got a feeling that might get to her because Anne seems to be giving us a pretty hard time out there this time. So I think Donna might break.
Round 2, and out of a possible £2,500, you put in the bank just £500. So to say there is huge scope for improvement is probably an understatement. There are 7 of you left. We are now taking 10 seconds off the clock. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's you, Nigel. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Nigel, what does an American eat either sunny side up or over easy?
Pancakes.
Eggs. Simon, Diva was the Roman name for which English city, Chester or York?
Chester.
Correct. David, in literature, which author's characters include Stilton Cheesewright and Bertie Wooster?
Pass.
P.G. Wodehouse. Andrew, in art, what was the nationality of the painter Gustav Klimt? German or Austrian?
German.
Austrian. Penny, what was the first word of the title of the 2 Disney films I Shrunk the Kids and I Blew Up the Kid?
Honey.
Correct. Pat, in food, which oil is highest in saturated fats? Walnut, sesame seed or palm kernel?
Palm kernel.
Correct. Donna, which singer born in Cardiff in 1937 was made a Dame of the British Empire this year?
Shirley Bassey.
Correct. Nigel, in the New Testament, who is called the beloved physician, Luke or Matthew?
Luke.
Correct. Simon.
Bank.
Does the city of Inverness lie to the north or south of Edinburgh?
South.
North. David, which gas comprises about 21% of the atmosphere?
Air.
Oxygen. Andrew, in which children's TV series did the characters Tucker Jenkins and Alan Humphreys appear?
Grange Hill.
Correct. Penny, which seaside resort hosted both the Liberal Democrat and Conservative Party conferences this year?
Brighton.
Bournemouth. Pat, in history, at which naval battle of 1805 did Nelson defeat Villeneuve?
Trafalgar.
Correct. Donna, in maths, if each side of an Egyptian pyramid is 220 metres long, how far would you walk if you went right round it?
Can you repeat the question, the number that you said there, please?
I can repeat the question. In maths, if each side of an Egyptian pyramid is 220 metres long, how far would you walk if you went right round it?
240 metres.
880 metres. Nigel, in the animal kingdom, which jay is the largest South American cat?
Jaguar.
Correct. Simon.
Bank.
In the TV sitcom My Family, what is the occupation of Ben, played by Robert Lindsay?
Dentist.
Correct. David. Time is up, and you missed out again on your £2,500 in that round. You did marginally better than the first round. You banked £550. Let me remind you, slow coaches and ditherers have no place on the team. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
With no wrong answers, Pat is the strongest link statistically. David is the weakest link because he didn't get a single question right. But will the votes follow the facts?
Voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Donna.
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 Penny.
Simon. Why Donna?
I was in 2 minds, but that pyramid thing clinched it. It just went on too long. And then wrong answer at the end of it.
How do you think you did?
I was wrong, but at least I was wrong quickly.
Nigel, why Donna?
Same reason, really. It was the pyramid that did it.
David, why Donna?
Same reason as the other guys.
I don't know what reason. I'm asking you, why Donna?
Because it took too long on the pyramid question.
Statistically, you were the worst player, weren't you?
I was.
But Donna, unanimously, the team have decided you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Very disappointed to be voted off so quick. I knew it was going to happen though as soon as that question with the pyramid, and I hesitated quite a lot on it, and I just knew I was going to be voted out on that one question. I think Penny will probably be voted off next. She has just scraped through the last 2 rounds anyway. She was the weakest link in the first round and got away with it, basically, and she didn't do too well on the second round either.
Round 3, team. By now, you could have won £5,000. What you have in the bank is just £1,050. You are down to 6 players. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Pat. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Pat, what name is given to the ceremony whereby a British monarch is publicly anointed, blessed and consecrated?
Coronation.
Correct. Nigel, what is the nationality of the Formula One driver Rubens Barrichello?
Brazilian.
Correct. Simon, in which Thackeray novel does Captain Crawley marry Becky Sharp?
Pass.
Vanity Fair. David, the Rainbow Bridge is a viewing point for which major North American tourist attraction?
Niagara Falls.
Correct. Andrew, which city is the annual home of Britain's largest fringe theatre festival?
Edinburgh.
Correct. Penny, in carpentry, what J is the name for a piece of timber onto which floorboards are nailed?
A joist.
Correct. Pat,
Bank.
in the Bible, what did Noah build from gopher wood?
The Ark.
Correct. Nigel, in the human body, the hormone adrenaline is produced by glands associated with which organs?
Pancreas.
Kidneys. Simon, which controversial English artist won the Turner Prize in 1995?
Gone.
Damien Hirst. David, in music, Babylon was a UK hit song this year for which singer?
Pass.
David Gray. Andrew, in science, what B is the name given to the study of the motion of projectiles?
Ballistics.
Correct. Penny, which British composer is depicted on the current Bank of England £20 note?
Elgar.
Correct. Pat, in
Bank.
which English county are the towns of Penrith and Keswick?
Cumbria.
Correct. Nigel, in food, Reuben, club and Dagwood are all types of what?
Vegetable.
Sandwich. Simon, according to British tradition, in a Christian marriage, does the bride stand on the left or the right side of the groom?
On the right.
Left. David, the star constellation, the Big Dipper, is also known by the name of which farming tool?
The plough.
Correct. Andrew,
Bank.
in literature, the husbands of which fictional character included Charles Hamilton and Rhett Butler?
Scarlett O'Hara.
Correct. Penny,
Bank.
which M is an animal found in India and known for its ability to kill snakes?
Pass.
Mongoose. Pat, which historic... Time's up. I cannot complete the question. And in that round, another dismal performance. You banked just £400. Who is letting you down? Think carefully who is hindering your progress. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the second round in a row, Pat is the strongest link. The weakest link statistically is Simon. He failed to answer any questions correctly. But will the team have picked up on this?
Voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Simon.
David.
Simon.
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 Nigel, what do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher, Anne.
You're actually a coordinator for science in the school.
I certainly am.
Are you sure about that? Adrenaline produced by glands associated with which organ?
That's definitely O-level stuff.
Have you not got any O-levels, Nigel? So, why Simon?
He didn't answer anything right.
Right. Well, you only answered one question correctly, didn't you?
Went more than Simon.
Simon!
Yes.
Statistically, you were the worst player. You didn't get a single question right. And with 5 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
This time it seemed a lot more frightening to me than the first time. The first time all of it seemed more relaxed, but this time it really was scary. I think David will be voted off next. I don't think he's got the breadth of knowledge, and I think where the rest of us were oil paintings, he's a bit of a watercolour.
Round 4, team. You've banked £1,450. That's out of potential prize money of £7,500. There are 5 of you left. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. You now have just 2 minutes. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Pat. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Pat, in the book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which creature does Alice follow to enter Wonderland?
The White Rabbit.
Correct. Nigel, Leith is the port area of which major British city?
Liverpool.
Edinburgh. David, auction and contract are both popular forms of which card game?
Bridge.
Correct. Andrew, in 1982, which flagship of King Henry VIII's fleet was raised from the seabed off Southsea?
Murray Rose.
Correct. Penny, in the 17th century, physician William Harvey introduced his theory about the circulation of what in the human body?
The blood.
Correct. Pat.
Bank.
Which major river flows between Rochester and Chatham in Kent?
I don't know.
The Medway. Nigel, in Lonely Hearts adverts, what do the letters TLC stand for?
Tender loving care.
Correct. David, in which Star Wars film do the characters the Ewoks first appear?
Return of the Jedi.
Correct. Andrew.
Bank.
Which country awards the Purple Heart to those wounded in military action?
America.
Correct. Penny, in a petrol engine, what name is given to the device which ignites the petrol-air mixture?
The spark plug.
Correct. Pat, which fashion designing family would you associate with the names Gianni, Donatella and Santo?
Versace.
Correct. Nigel, in music, Dana International won the 1998 Eurovision Song Contest for which country?
Israel.
Correct. David, in TV, what is the name of the handyman on Ground Force?
Pass.
Tommy Walsh. Andrew, because of its sparkling appearance, what name is given to glass to which a small amount of lead has been added?
Crystal.
Correct. Penny, on the 24th of February 1989, the funeral of which Japanese emperor took place in Tokyo?
Hirohito.
Correct. Pat,
Bank.
in the human body, which A is the protein produced when a foreign body or antigen invades?
Adrenaline.
Time's up. The correct answer was antibody. And in that round, you managed to bank just £600. Whose light has been fading as we have progressed? Who is holding you back? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
David is the weakest link for the second time in the game. Although he wasn't the only player to get a question wrong, he failed to bank money for the team. The strongest link is Andrew, but will the votes reflect the statistics?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Pat.
Nigel.
David.
Pat.
David.
Team, we have a tie. Pat and David, 2 votes each. Nigel, why Pat?
It was a pretty close round, but I remember him getting 2 questions wrong.
Pat, why David?
Because he got questions wrong that he should have got right, and I thought he was going to cost the team money.
Right. When the vote is tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. Andrew, you were the strongest link in the last round. You voted for David, but you can change your mind. Who would you prefer to get rid of? David or Pat?
Well, I wasn't paying much attention to who got what wrong, so I'll be a bit controversial and I'll choose Pat.
Why have you changed?
I think Pat's a bit of a threat to us later on.
Oh, I didn't realise you were a coward, Andrew.
Oh, I am.
Pat, Andrew has decided. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
It's very sickening to be voted out late in the game, particularly on the casting vote, which was changed by the fellow who made it. I think they'll probably regret it later. I think it's knocked out what he said was the strongest link, or a threat to him, too early. I think it'll cost them money, and they'll regret it in the long run. If I were to say I didn't want Andrew to win, that would be because he changed his mind and voted me off on his casting vote. I think he will win because I think he's got the best general knowledge of the few remaining people. I hope he doesn't.
Round 5, team. Your total so far is £2,050. If you'd hit your targets, it would be £10,000. 4 players left, another 10 seconds coming off the time. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Andrew. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Andrew, in the 1950s, what sort of women's fashion garment was known as a baby doll?
Trousers.
Night dress. Penny, in the closing ceremony at this year's Olympic Games, who entered the Olympic Stadium on a giant flip-flop to sing ABBA's Dancing Queen?
Pass.
Kylie Minogue. Nigel, in which country was the Godfather novelist Maria Puzo born?
Italy.
America. David, what is the name of the building in central Brighton designed by John Nash for the future King George IV?
The Pavilion.
It's Royal Pavilion. Andrew, in which American city is there a famous tourist area called the French Quarter?
New York.
New Orleans. Penny, which planet shares its name with the Roman messenger of the gods?
Mars.
Mercury. Nigel, in pop music, Against All Odds was a hit this year for Mariah Carey and which boy band?
Boyzone.
Westlife. David, is London Zoo in Hyde Park, Regent's Park or Green Park?
Regent's Park.
Correct. Andrew, in the 1939 film Wuthering Heights, which English actor played the brooding Heathcliff?
Pass.
Laurence Olivier. Penny, in which sport is England's Lee Westwood a highly ranked player?
Rugby league.
Golf. Nigel, Indira Gandhi Airport serves which Indian city?
New Delhi.
Delhi, correct. David, in history, the markswoman Annie Oakley appeared in which Wild West show?
Pass.
Buffalo Bills. Andrew, the collectible penny black postage stamp bears which English monarch's head?
Victoria.
Queen Victoria. Penny, in US politics, Joseph Lieberman is the first man from which religion? Time is up. I cannot complete the question. You managed to answer only 3 questions correctly, and you banked precisely 0. It hardly seems worth asking who's holding you back, but one of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote on the weakest link.
In a disappointing round, the statistics show that Nigel is the strongest link. Penny is the weakest link, as she was the only player to get all her answers wrong. But whose game is over?
Voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Penny.
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 Nigel.
Andrew, why Penny?
Because I think in a diabolical round, she was the only one who didn't get a question right.
You just got the one right.
I did, yes, but like the other contestants, I only got one right.
Nigel, why Penny?
Because she didn't get any questions right, and also it would make me the top teacher on the show.
Penny, statistically you were the worst player. Unanimously, the team have voted you the weakest link. Bye.
I think I'm going to have my leg pulled about not getting Kylie Minogue right, being such a disco diva myself. The kids at school are going to give me a lot of stick about that, but I didn't know it, so sorry. I think the next person to be voted off will be David, because he's as bad as me and has had many lucky chances and he's lucky to be there.
Round 6. We struggle on. You have £2,050 out of the £12,500 you could have won by now. There are 3 of you left. Another 10 seconds is coming off the clock. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Nigel. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Nigel, in classical music, Death in Venice was the last opera of which British composer?
Elgar.
Benjamin Britten. David, California white muscat grapes are grown especially for making what?
Wine.
Raisins. Andrew, in medicine, an otoscope is an instrument for examining which part of the body?
The ear.
Correct. Nigel, in the New Testament, what is the collective name given to the riders of the white, red, black and pale horses?
Valkyrie.
No, 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. David, which British supermodel has dated Mike Tyson, Robert De Niro and Adam Clayton of U2?
Naomi Campbell.
Correct, Andrew. If you drove out of London to the end of the M3 motorway, at which city would you arrive?
Bristol.
Southampton. Nigel, which royal had a holiday villa in Moustique that was recently put up for sale by her son?
Princess Diana.
Princess Margaret. David, which is the northernmost country of Latin America?
Brazil.
Mexico. Andrew, which Yeti grubs, the larvae of large moths, was first eaten as a delicacy in which country?
Australia.
Correct. Nigel, which American singer had hits in the UK with the albums Nice and Easy and My Way?
Frank Sinatra.
Correct. David, which bird has varieties called canvasback, harlequin and golden eye?
Eagle.
Duck. Andrew, the lira made up of 100 karouche is the currency for which country?
Italy.
Turkey. Nigel, in biology, what do you call the soft sponge-like... The time is up. I cannot complete the question. And in that round, team, you won £100. Now, in round 7, you do get the chance to double what you bank. That means in the next round, there's £5,000 to be won. The question is, who is least likely to get that bank balance up? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The weakest link statistically is Nigel. He only answered 1 question correctly and failed to bank any money for the team. Andrew is the strongest link, but at this crucial stage of the game, how will the votes go?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
David.
Nigel.
David.
Andrew, why David?
Well, I think I saved his bacon last time, but now he's got to go.
You saved his bacon last time.
I did.
He banked £100 in the last round. Do you think he might have saved your bacon, Andrew?
Depends on whether I win or not.
Nigel, you're the worst player statistically, but it's votes that count. David, with 2 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
It feels good to be a champion first time out. I feel very proud of actually coming on and playing against 2 other guys that have won lots of money, and I can go away with my head held high. Andrew will win the final. I think he's answered most questions consistently, and I think he'll do so again in the final.
Round 17. By now you could have won £15,000, but actually in the kitty is £2,150. Andrew and Nigel, it's the two of you left, and this time you have 90 seconds. But whatever you win in this round will be doubled and added to your total to make up your final prize money. So £5,000 is at stake in this round. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Andrew. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Andrew, in music, which of the famous three tenors is Italian?
Luciano Pavarotti.
Correct. Nigel, in which sport is all or part of the playing field called the diamond?
Baseball.
Correct. Andrew,
Bank.
who is the famous actress, sister of actor Eric Roberts?
Julia.
Correct. Nigel, the World Championships of which board game took place in Toronto in October this year?
Monopoly.
Correct. Andrew,
Bank.
in history, if Elizabethan describes the age of Queen Elizabeth I, which word describes that of King James I of England?
Jacobean.
Correct. And Nigel, the unit of currency in Panama is named after which explorer, Balboa or Columbus?
Balboa.
Correct. Andrew,
Bank.
in the TV series Last of the Summer Wine, what was the name of Nora Batty's deceased husband?
Pass.
Wally. Nigel, in 1431, St Joan of Arc was burned at the stake in which city?
Orleans.
Rouen. Andrew, American artist James Whistler's most famous portrait, painted in 1871, features which member of his family?
His mother.
Correct. Nigel, Olympus Mons is the highest volcano on which planet?
Mars.
Correct. Andrew,
Bank.
in film, which comedian played several members of the Clump family in this year's sequel to The Nutty Professor?
Eddie Murphy.
Correct. Nigel, in 1956, the racehorse Devon Lock was owned by which member of the royal family?
Queen Mother.
Correct. Andrew. Andrew, you banked just in time. And an impressive round. You only got 2 questions wrong. But you didn't make it to £2,500. You won £500. We'll double that and add it to the winnings from the previous round. That means total prize money this evening of £3,150. But only one of you can take that money away. You will now be playing against each other, head to head. I'll ask alternate questions. It's the best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5 questions each, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. So, Nigel and Andrew, for £3,150, let's play the weakest link. Andrew, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'll go first.
Andrew, in which year did Australia celebrate its bicentenary?
1998.
No, the correct answer is 1988. Nigel, in Britain, darters and hawkers are 2 main groups of which flying insects that cannot walk?
Wasps.
No, the correct answer is dragonflies. Andrew, the winner of which section of the Tour de France gets to wear a red polka dot jersey?
The first section.
The correct answer is King of the Mountains. Nigel, if you sail from Grimsby or Cleethorpes, you'll be in which shipping forecast area?
Humber.
That is the correct answer. Andrew, what was the name of the American space station first launched in 1973?
Mir.
Correct answer is Skylab. Nigel, who is the female hero of the Tomb Raider computer games?
Leia.
No. correct answer is Lara Croft. Nigel is still ahead by 1 question. Andrew. Should old acquaintance be forgot is the first line of a song traditionally sung at New Year. What is the second line?
I think it's for old acquaintance, be forgot again.
No, the correct answer is and never brought to mind. Nigel, if you answer this question correctly, you have won the game. So, for £3,150. In politics, who in 1981 was the only woman in the SDP's Gang of Four?
Shirley Williams.
That is the correct answer. That means, Nigel, you are tonight's strongest link, and you go away with £3,150. Andrew, you leave with nothing. Join us again for the weakest link. Goodbye.
I haven't really got any bad feelings towards Nigel. He got the questions right when it mattered.
For the moment, I'm going to probably put the prize money away until my children are a little bit older and we'll perhaps go on some exotic foreign holiday.
The Weakest Link back at 8:30 on Thursday, BBC One. And of course, it's on every weekday at 5:15 on BBC Two. Next up tonight, our second EastEnders.
Please help me. My baby's taking something.
I've got
Please
her
help me.
now. All right.
Charlie, it's diazepam.
Right. Little girl suspected OD diazepam. She's not making much respiratory effort.
All right, start bagging her. Set up in case we need to intubate.
It's Yasmin, age 5. Mother left her alone for 2 minutes and then she found the bottle.
Let's get some IV access.
What if something happened to Louis? I won't be there for him anymore. I'm gonna miss him.
Casualty, Saturdays, 8:05, BBC One.
New comedy drama on BBC One, The Sins, starring Pete Postlethwaite and Geraldine James. In half an hour.
It's always the same with these big dudes. I'm the one who ends up doing all the work.
Afternoon, ladies. Is Frank around? Need a word.
Key? What so wrong is it?
I can't, Barry. I've got to talk to your father.
Look, all I need is your expert eye. Oh, and a quick look in your wardrobe.
What for?
Regis wants to borrow one of your dresses.
Well, the truth's out now. I'm a tranny. No, I'm only joking. It's for the guy. It's meant to be Queen Victoria. I've got the crown, but what I really need is a suitable garment.
Well, can't you borrow one off of Natalie?
You are joking, and your Nat's a size 10. Queen Vic was a big old bird, wasn't she?
I'll get it.
But any old rag would do. It's only going to burn anyway.
Hello?
I'll pick you up at the top of Victoria Road in 1 hour from now, yeah? I love you.
I love you too.
Frank?
I'm in here, darling.
drinking the mulled wine?
Isn't Roy with you? I thought I heard him.
Oh, I sent him packing.
Peggy, I'd like you to sit down. I want to talk to you, darling.
Oh, we got a party starting in a couple of hours.
No. This is important. This is about us.
What is it?
I don't know where to start, really. I should have said something before, but I kept putting it off. And I feel so guilty.
What about?
Letting you down.
Oh, you're not letting me
Yes,
down.
yes, I am, Peggy. I have been for some time now.
Well, all marriages have their ups and downs. We're just coming out of a little dip, that's all.
No, it's not as simple as that, Peggy.
Frank, a few weeks ago, I was worried myself. Scared you'd gone off me. Well, then we turned the corner and then we had that night and it just feels like old times again. In fact, I don't feel 60 anymore. I feel more like 16. I feel all fired up again.
Sometimes things happen. Things that you don't plan. You think you're being honest with yourself, but you're not. I mean, if you remember, even on our wedding day, you know, I wasn't straight then, was I?
We got off to a rocky start, that's all. I was late and you got cold feet. But next week we'll put that right.
What?
Our vows. Tuesday afternoon, I went ahead and booked them. And in fact, I had these made up and all. Look, darling.
Peggy, look, please,
Frank,
darling.
I love you more than any man I've ever loved. That's all that matters. Don't you understand?
You're a very special lady, you know that?
I'm your lady. Now, go on. You get on with this mulled wine, and when you finished it, I want you to come downstairs and help Mel. I've got to go off to the cash and carry before it closes.
Peggy, please.
Everything's going to be all right.
Oh, you're too strong for it.
I'm coming.
Bora, hang on a sec, love. What have I got for you?
Oh, look! Look! Wow! Let's go in. Come on.
Penny for the guy. Get a life.
Oh, Jamie, will you give Phil a message? Will you tell him I need to see him? I want to talk to him about next week.
He'll be over tonight.
I'll be rushed off my feet. Tell him to pop round earlier. It's important. By the way, how's Sonia?
I wouldn't know.
She's getting stronger by the day. Takes her milk, no problem. Jaundice is almost cleared up. Why don't you try holding her? Just for a minute or two. It'll make all the difference.
I can't.
She said get over the Vic as soon as you can. I'll get over there now.
You're right, Jay.
Yeah, I would be if everyone got off my back for a minute.
Told ya. Don't take any notice of them.
Yeah, well, it's a bit difficult, Phil, when everyone thinks I'm this sort of monster because I won't go in there.
Why don't you?
Lisa, she lied to him.
You don't know that. You don't know what's going on.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Don't you think she deserves a chance to explain?
No. He goes in there and feels sorry for her. Before you know it, he'll end up lumbered.
I don't think that would happen.
Well, I think you should talk to her just once.
Sonia is a lying little slut. Better off out of it.
What are you doing here?
Oh, looking for the vacuum cleaner?
It's in the front room.
Oh, thanks.
Mm.
It's my first day, you know.
You going somewhere?
No, these are Janine. She's going to stay with Claire for a few days.
Lucky her.
Yeah.
Mum around?
No, she's not.
Oh, she wanted to see me.
Well, she's not here, Phil. She's gone to the cash and carry. Why don't you call back later?
Ain't trying to get rid of me, Frank, are you?
No, I'm not trying to get rid of you, Phil. Why don't you go home and I'll tell you called?
Tell you what, I got a better idea. Why don't I stay here and wait for her?
Suit yourself.
I will do.
It's you, love. Hey, what are you doing here?
I wanted to talk to you.
Hey, I've just been with Ian in the kitchen. I gave him some sparklers and some fireworks. The kids, they loved it, you know.
Right.
Now they're working away on their guys ready for the competition. They're doing a fantastic job. Pat? Hey, Pat, what's wrong, love? This is about Frank and Peggy, isn't it? What? The invitation. Frank, he always pips me to the post, but just because I didn't suggest it doesn't mean that I value you any the less. There was a few old vows anyway, eh?
Did they give you this today?
Yeah, half an hour ago. I know we might have had a ropey old wedding, but I don't think we need to stand up and repeat a few promises to know that we want to spend the rest of our lives together, do we?
No.
So, am I forgiven then?
What for?
Well, for being a boring, unromantic old fool.
Oh, right. You're not in the least bit unromantic.
Right, well, that's okay then, isn't it? Now, I'm just going to finish off here, and then I'm coming home and I'm going to sabotage that guy because I am determined those kids are going to win, you know.
Bye.
Bye, love.
Are you blind or something? You could have killed me, Dad.
Janine, I'm sorry, darling. Are you all right, baby? Oh, baby.
Oh, Dad, what are you doing?
I'm giving you a hug, that's all.
You'll pass me a sick bucket, please.
Hey! Can't we stop roaring just for a second, please? I know you won't believe this, but I love you so much. I always have done and always will do. Listen to me, listen to your dad, please. Doesn't matter what happens, always remember. Look at me. Always remember. You're my little girl, yeah?
Are you feeling all right, Dad?
Yeah, I'm fine.
No, you don't look fine.
Well,
In actual fact, you look rough.
Yeah, well, don't worry about your old man. I'm as fit as a butcher's dog, don't we? Well, why don't you go back inside?
Aren't you coming?
Yeah, I've got 1 or 2 errands to run.
All right. Well, I'll see you in a minute then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jamie. Robbie said you couldn't come here.
Changed my mind.
You okay?
Nothing changes, does it? I was waiting for you on street corners 40 years ago and I'm still doing it now.
Come along, Patricia. Let's put your bags in the car, darling. Here's your phone. There you go, Gil. Lovely.
Oh, Frank, I feel sick to my stomach.
I know, darling. I do as well, but, you know, we're going to be all right.
We will be, won't we?
Of course we will be. We are together. Next up, Manchester. Hey, come on. Come on, baby.
You all right?
I'm good.
And the baby?
Fine. Missed you.
You lied to me, Sonia.
No, I didn't lie. I'd never lied to you, Jane.
All that stuff about making it special and waiting for the right time.
I didn't know I was pregnant.
You didn't know? How stupid do you think I am?
I just thought I was putting weight on.
and then just popped out, a complete surprise.
Jamie, do you think I would have made you a meal and got dressed up if I'd had the faintest idea?
Whose is it?
What?
Who's the father? Come on, it can't be that difficult.
I can't.
Can't or won't.
It doesn't matter.
It matters to me.
But it's not important.
Is that right?
We can still make this work.
I don't think so.
But I love you.
You've ruined it, Sonia. You're a lying little slut. And I don't want nothing to do with you.
Jamie. Jamie, wait. Jamie.
I'm telling you, darling, Manchester's a blinding place. They've got great shops, superb restaurants, and in 15 minutes you're in the countryside. We get ourselves a big house, make some new friends, and if we get lonely, we can always pop down the road to see Claire and the boys. And don't forget Bianca and Liam are there.
Sounds like you got it all mapped out.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say that.
So, where are we staying tonight?
Well, I haven't really thought about it, but I thought, a little hotel somewhere. Perhaps the honeymoon suite.
I thought you were going to sort a flat.
Well, I didn't really have time for that, Donna, but it don't matter anyway, does it? You know, a couple of hours from now, we'll be sipping champagne, bouncing about on a waterbed. Yeah.
Would you stop the car a sec, Frank?
Sorry?
I think there's one or two things we ought to get sorted out before we go any further.
Oh. I think everything's sorted, isn't it?
Just pull off this road, will you?
Right, my darling. What is it?
What did you say to Peggy?
Pat, what is the point in this? This is not about Peggy and Roy. This is about me and you. You know, making a new life for ourselves.
Just tell me.
I said to her that, you know, I loved you and I was really sorry that things didn't work out.
How did she take it?
That's hard to say, really.
Well, you must have some idea. Was she angry? Was she crying?
I left her a note.
You left her a note?
But I tried to tell her, Donna, but she was halfway out the door, and you know what Peggy's like with me. She had me all turned around.
You promised you'd tell her.
Well, things don't always work out exactly as planned, you know.
No, they don't. Just like you promised to cancel them vows.
She went ahead and fixed it without even telling me.
You were meant to call it off.
I tried. Well, you know, what about you with Roy? I mean, what did you say? Was it that easy?
No, it wasn't at all easy.
There you go, then.
Because I didn't tell him.
What?
It's been getting worse all day. Packing up my stuff. Very Natalie, seeing the kids. And when it finally came to it, I couldn't.
So what are you going to do? Write to him? Phone him?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Wait a minute, Pat. Listen to me, darling. Don't go belly up on me here. All this is last-minute jitters.
Is it?
Of course it is.
I don't know, Frank. Maybe this whole thing's a big mistake.
Oh, just hang on a minute. I've just walked out of my wife for you.
I didn't ask you to.
You didn't ask me to. I love you. You love me. I know you do. What do you mean you didn't? No, Pat, please don't. All right, darling, I'm sorry. Don't cry, baby. Don't cry, please. Pat, don't throw a wobbly on me now, darling. Will you slow down a minute? Pat, listen to me. This is ridiculous, darling. You're going to freeze to death out here. Let's get in the car, eh? Pat. Please. Listen, let's go in here. Come on, in here. Yeah, go on. Mind these steps, will you? Careful. There we go. Pat, this is me you're talking to. Nothing's changed, darling. We're Frank and Pat. We're meant to be together.
Maybe we were once. So much has changed, Frank. I'm not a pretty little 16-year-old anymore. I'm old. I'm virtually a pensioner.
Well, what difference does that make?
I can't afford to make another mistake. You promised you'd cancel them vows. You promised you'd tell Peggy in person. You promised to organise a flat.
Is that what this is all about? I've let you down on the home front.
The only front you haven't let me down on is your bed. And that's not enough to fill the next 20 years. I need you to be different. Roy and me have a life together. All right, it's not glamorous, it's not passionate. But sometimes the smallest little things he does make me love him. And I know he loves me, he'll never let me down.
And I would.
You can't help yourself.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for Mum.
Well, make yourself at home, won't you?
Yeah, thanks, I will.
What's that?
A love letter from the great man. So, when are you off to Manchester?
Sorry?
Well, Frank said you were staying with Claire for a while.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's funny. I see him earlier on. He had your bags packed and was halfway out the door.
I don't believe this. Oh, no wonder he was being so grovelly. And I thought he was just being nice for a change.
Well, you didn't know?
No! I'm gonna kill him! You wait till he gets back here, I'm gonna absolutely kill him.
Pat, look now, darling. You're panicking. You can't go back there. You can't go back to the same old...
All I've ever had off of you all of my life has been lies. Even when I was 16, lying to me. Lying to June, and her up the duff with you as a husband. Nothing's changed, Frank. You're still doing the same thing.
Because I love you. And I always have loved you. And you know damn well that if June hadn't